Hello guys, and welcome to Astrology Coaching by Anatoly. Today we are going to discuss the fifth house. I can show you now. This is the fifth house here, and don't look at the 11th number. 11th number means Aquarius in this case. So for ascendant, Libra ascendant, fifth house is ruled by Aquarius. So Leo is, the fifth house is related to the Leo zodiac sign, because as I told you before, the houses are correlated to their original rulers, Leo and the Sun, of course, because Sun is the ruler of the Leo. So let's start now. The motto is I create. The direction is north. The karka of this house is Jupiter. Why Jupiter? Because Jupiter signifies children. That's why in Vedic Astrology, if a female wants to see her husband, the person who will give her children has to check Jupiter. Digbala, no planets finds Digbala directional strength in the fifth house. And type, this is Trikona house, a house that gives luck and blessings. The type, the body type, the body part that the fifth house rules are the same as Leo, the heart, the spine too. But mainly the heart. Fifth house rules the heart. Okay, so now what are the specifications, the key words that describes Leo? First of all, children. This is the house of the children. So especially the firstborn child, if you want to know whether you have children, it is good. One of the things that you have to check is the fifth house. For example, if you have a water sign in the fifth house, this means that you have more ability to get pregnant or to have children, because fifth house is pregnancy, fertility. So you'll be more you have higher fertility, bigger fertility, because fifth house rules fertility. If you have water sign there, if you have, for example, but this doesn't mean that you have children. For example, Marilyn Monroe has, she has a water sign there, and she had a lot of pregnancy, abortion, but still she didn't have children. If you have Mercury zodiac signs there, Virgo or Gemini or Leo, this means that it will be more difficult to have children, most probably. I'm speaking generally, because they are very barren signs. Gemini, Virgo, Leo, they are barren signs, and when you are barren, you are not so fertile, and this can cause problems with your pregnancy. Okay, fifth house, children, fertility, pregnancy. It rules love and romance, very important. It rules education. It rules sport and fun. It rules creativity. This is the third from the third house. So cinema, performance stage, everything like this, every type of creativity, you can see it through the fifth house. Politics, governments, kings, queens, you can see it from the fifth house. This is the house of Purva Punya. This is the all good things that you did in your past lives can come through this house. So if you have benefics and if you have good fifth house, this means that in your life, things that are from your past life that will happen, that will bring happiness, luck, and blessings. Speculative business, gambling, and any kind of speculative business is controlled by this house. For example, if you have Venus here, maybe you can work with currency, or you can be good in gambling and earn a lot of money through gambling. It rules stock market. It rules intelligence too. Pleasure and recreation. I already said fun and sport. The interesting thing here is that the fifth house is very spiritual house too, because it is ninth house. From the ninth is spirituality, but it controls spirituality, of course, because it's the original sign of Sagittarius. And fifth house is ninth from the ninth house. This means that it is spiritual, so it is responsible for magics, for mantras, for spirituality, for spiritual singing, for example. What is mantra? Is spiritual singing, right? Different spiritual techniques too. Fifth house is the house of morals and good deeds too. So these are the main key signification of the fifth house. And now we are going to check what will happen if one planet goes there. And of course, if you want to see the strength of the fifth house, you have to check the lord of the fifth house, you have to check the planets, the aspects, the nakshatra, the constellations, and so this will all determine the strength of the fifth house. Okay, so let's start with the planets now. For example, if you have Sun in the fifth house, this means that you have a great creativity. Most probably you will have a male child and you'll be center of attention. You can be good in speculative business. If you have Moon, very feminine, maybe a girl, first child will be a daughter, oh, I forgot to say that fifth house is one of the houses that controls fame. So if you have Moon in the fifth house, this can make you very creative, very emotional, very artistic, and this can bring fame in your life. If you have Mercury, very intelligent, and intelligent children too. Very good in writing and good journalist, good person who publish books, writer. And Mercury can cause a little bit problems with the children because, as I told you, Mercury in the fifth house, Mercury is a planet that doesn't have sex. It's a prince. It's asexual thing. That's why many people who have some kind of or exalted or problems with the Mercury, sometimes you can see bisexual people when they have problems with Mercury, or too strong Mercury or too weak Mercury. Oops, the mic. Okay, so if you have Mars here, this means very sport-oriented person, very creative too, creative energy. If the sign is more technical, this means that you'll be very good in the field of engineering, construction, creating buildings, for example. Or if your Mars is debilitated, this means abortion. This means Caesar. What is the English word? Caesar, when you're not giving birth through the natural way, they cut your stomach. I forgot. Caesar sectio. I think this is the word. If you have, for example, Jupiter here, Jupiter can, if it's in good sign, it can bring a lot of many children, but maybe at the beginning there will be some kind of problems with the children because Jupiter is the sole planet of the fifth house, and this creates issue, as I told you, at the first part of your life. So Jupiter here can bring a big family, a big love, because fifth house is the love and romance house. Saturn is the next planet. You can write now comment, we can pause again the video, and you can write comment what means if Saturn is in the fifth house. And I'll tell you now. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, if Saturn is in the fifth house, this means that there will be delay in delay related to the children. For example, if Saturn is in a good position, this means that delay can be around 27, 28 years old, when you're 27, 20 years old. But if it's in debilitated sign, this can cause a big delay and problems having children. But Saturn doesn't mean that you will not have children. It means delay. and you have to put effort to have a children. If you have, for example, Ketu, this may means really that you are not interested in having children, that you prefer to make your dreams come true, to have more money, and following your dream, you just forget or you don't pay attention to the children, or you just don't want to have children. If you have Rahu, this means a great amount of creativity. You want to express yourself in very strange way. People with pink hair, many earrings over the face, they want to express themselves in very specific, different way. These are Rahu in 5th house people. And need for love, need for romance, need for fun, need for pleasure. Rahu calls this. Okay, if you have Pluto, this means problems with the children, transformation through children, powerful children maybe, or controlling issues with your children. If you have Neptune, a very creative person, you are very creative and maybe your children will be very creative. If you have Uranus here, this means that you're very creative, you're very different, you're very not from this world, you're very changeable, you're changing yourself, changing the way you look all the time, and it makes you fast and different from the world. I forgot to say that Neptune, if you have Neptune, you'll be very musical and very good in photography, cinema, and very artistic, but especially musical type of person. I hope I didn't miss anything. So if you have, if the Lord of the 5th house is, for example, let's say in the 12th house, this may mean that your children may go study and live abroad, or maybe you will lose a child in some way. I don't mean literally losing it, but for example, you can be distant from him or from your child. If the fifth lord is in the 1st house, this means that your child will be everything for you, or you'll be really very creative, or you have Purva Punya. I mean, you have the good deeds will come to your life. And of course, if the Lord is well placed. If the 5th house is in the 8th house, the 5th house Lord is in the 8th house, this means transformation, this means issues with the children or issues with love and romance. Okay, so I think, yeah, we're on time. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it's useful for you. If you have any comments, please leave them below the video. I enjoyed it. I'll try to reply to all of them. Thank you for watching, and thank you for choosing Astrology Coaching by Anatoly. Thank you.